Good Saturday evening. It's meteorologist John Birchfield here, and we're doing a live Q&A on all of our streaming platforms. So I'd love to hear your questions and comments about the weather today, which was certainly a bit messy to say the least. And we're still going to continue to track some of the lingering impacts on travel that'll continue tonight and even into Sunday morning. It's also going to be a really active week of weather ahead. So if you stick around for a couple minutes, we're going to be talking a potential snowstorm that's coming Wednesday night into Thursday, and another chance for wintry mix into next weekend. I've got the YouTube live stream up, so I'm going to look over some of your questions and comments, and you can also join in on WTOL 11 Plus. We put out a lot of more long form extended content there if you're not already on Plus. Some stuff that we can't really get the time to talk about on TV, and we really delve deep into the weather. So I'm going to start off by talking about what you can expect for the rest of this evening and the travel that has been a little bit slippery and dicey so far this afternoon and evening. Through about 8, 9, 10 p.m. it's still going to be a little slushy, especially on those back roads, country roads. Even the neighborhood streets may still have some snow on them. Overall, I think the major roadways have shown some big signs of improvement. Shout out to all the crews that really helped ice and pre-treat the roadways, as things are looking a lot better in helping to relieve some of that accumulation. It's going to turn better for tomorrow, so Super Bowl Sunday, plan on a little bit of a slick setting to start off the day, but by the afternoon and evening for those Super Bowl parties, by kickoff, things are going to be clear. So here's a look at Doppler radar. Boy, what a mess. We had the blue on there, that was snow. We had the purple, that was sleet. And then the pink, that is freezing rain. That is all now moving off into eastern Ohio, so it's clearing on out. There still could be a few lingering snow showers this evening, but overall, the vast majority of what has fallen is now in the rear view mirror, and we're basically just looking ahead towards some lingering travel impacts. At this point, I think temperatures have fallen enough that most of the precipitation that we see is going to come in the form of snow as opposed to sleet and freezing rain like we saw earlier, with temperatures that are now well below freezing. Still a few light snow showers on Doppler, but overall things are drying out, and that'll thankfully allow crews to continue to plow and treat those roads and make sure that we're good to go for Super Bowl Sunday. Across the metro, still some light snow showers. I've been really keeping a close eye on those road cameras and the traffic conditions, so perhaps you're thinking about heading this evening, heading out to dinner, maybe going to downtown Toledo. I know a lot of folks were headed out for the walleye game. Things are still a little bit snowy. This is I-75 at the Anthony Wayne Trail. You can still see some of that snow accumulation. There's been enough cars passing on through that there's at least some tread marks that have cleared on off, but noticing a little bit of snow there on the entrance and the exit ramps in particular. Those tend to ice over and be a little bit colder. And keep in mind too, with temps dropping tonight, there could be some refreezing as well as some additional slippery spots. All right, here's another traffic camera. This is 475 at Douglas. Looks a little bit shiny, but honestly, much improved over what we saw earlier. Thankfully, those heavily trafficked roads are starting to show some signs of improvement and clearing, especially now that it's been a couple of hours since we've had any heavy snow and heavy sleet. Again, thanks for joining us on YouTube, WTOL 11 Plus, and also on Facebook, X, and on social media. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave those down below, and we'll get to all your weather questions. We've been talking about how we're going to still see some lingering travel impacts and looking at some of those road cameras. Now, one of the things that I am concerned about is some refreezing tonight. Our temperature is down to 26 in the metro. We're at 25 in Monroe. Even down to the south where it was freezing raining earlier, we're still well below freezing in Findlay and Tiffin. And I do think there is the chance that we do get some refreezing and some icy spots, especially on bridges and overpasses. Even on your driveway, it could still be a little bit icy tonight through tomorrow morning. So use caution and keep that in mind. The snow showers are going to be wrapping up by about 8 o'clock p.m., that wintry mix tapering off, although slippery conditions are still going to be possible for that travel. What about Sunday morning? I know a lot of folks have weekend plans, whether it's heading to church, going out for your morning walk at your favorite park, or just going to the grocery store to get those ingredients for your Super Bowl cooking or those snack items. Still could be a little bit slick and slippery in the morning. If possible, I'd recommend waiting until the afternoon tomorrow to head out to run those errands, as the morning could still be a little bit dicey and slippery. There is going to be a little bit of sunshine tomorrow, though that is going to be a really nice treat to cap off the weekend. And I think that what sun we do see is going to contribute to melting away those roadways. So thankfully the salt is going to be a little bit more effective tomorrow once the sun comes on up. Now we are still keeping the alert day in effect for the rest of the evening. I'm going to have the latest forecast and a breakdown of the latest data coming up live at 11 p.m. on WTOL 11. Can't wait to see you there. For those who can't join the live stream, we'll have the latest on air. But of course, sometimes these live streams are a great way to delve into the weather a little bit more deep and look at those things that we don't have time to talk about on air. So that alert day continues this evening. The snow and the ice are ending, so that is good news. Although with temperatures dropping to the low 20s, there could be some refreezing, and I would advise using caution. So our Sunday forecast, 32 degrees, partly sunny skies. The sunshine will be nice. There could still be some slick spots in the morning, but there's going to be a significant improvement into the afternoon. All right, let's have some fun here and talk about the forecast down at the Super Bowl in New Orleans. Anyone else a little bit jealous of this? I know I am for sure. 70 degrees sounds nice. Even though there's a dome over the stadium, those who are heading to and from Caesars Superdome in New Orleans are going to have a nice and balmy day. Dry weather is expected for the Super Bowl. And for those watching here at home, we're going to have the latest forecast coming up on Fox 36, and that newscast is going to be after the Super Bowl. All right, so our next winter storm system. I know on social media I've gotten a lot of questions about what we can expect and when we're finally going to get a decent snowstorm, because the last week has been active. We've seen a lot of wintry mix. We've seen ice, but not really any big snowfall. This one could please those snow lovers who are hoping for that snowfall. All right, so Wednesday night into Thursday, we have another alert day that's in effect. Right now, I've circled an impact level 4 out of 5, and the reason for that is we're looking at widespread steady accumulations and possibly even a little bit of icing to the south of Toledo. Now, the exact storm track is going to dictate exactly how much precipitation we get and what form it is going to come in, but I think this is going to be a storm that may require the shovel, if not the snow blower, with heavy snow accumulations and that best chance of accumulation for ice to be to the south of Toledo. All right, so let's break down the timeline. We get a nice dry day for Super Bowl Sunday. Dry weather also Monday and Tuesday. Going to be a really good stretch of weather to dry things out and improve those road conditions. So Tuesday, there is going to be a winter storm system that impacts the mid-Atlantic region, but you'll notice those impacts are going to be far to the south of us. This one's going to bring some snow for Kentucky, snow for West Virginia, and even into North Carolina as well. Let's set the clock into motion. Wednesday's still going to be dry during the daytime, but that alert day starts up late Wednesday evening. We're going to be tracking this low that's going to be moving through central Ohio, and this is about a best case scenario for snow lovers hoping for an accumulating snow. Usually when you get that central Ohio storm track, that is pretty favorable for getting sticking snow for northwest Ohio and lower Michigan. Now you see that pink color? That is our infamous wintry mix. We've dealt with it a lot in the last week or so. I drew some arrows pointing towards that wintry mix. There has been some data that does show that we could see a bit of a slushy mix south of Toledo, but I think based on this storm track, this is pretty favorable for mostly, if not entirely, snow for the Toledo metro. This system is going to be clearing on out Thursday early in the day. So again, that alert day is in effect from late Wednesday evening through Thursday morning. I would plan on there could be possible school delays. The drive into work may take longer, and there could even be school closures if this storm does end up panning out. Now, it's not going to miss us entirely. I know sometimes I get that question. Well, could we see a miss out of this storm system? Not with this one. There could be a slight change in the track that could lead to a little bit more wintry mix versus snow. So we're going to be fine-tuning that storm track and breaking down exactly what type of wintry precipitation we may see. But I'm going to scroll back and show you this latest data. We're seeing mostly blue for Toledo in northwest Ohio, and that is favorable for a mostly snow type event. Now, it's going to be a pretty active stretch of weather heading into mid-February. Following that winter storm, we do see some dry weather returning for Valentine's Day. I do think we're going to see a decent amount of sunshine Valentine's Day Friday to ring in the weekend. However, next weekend, another Saturday, another chance at a wintry mix. It's still too early to talk about how impactful this storm may be, but we're looking at a 60% chance of rain, snow, and even a little bit of ice. We're going to pour through the latest data and look at the latest computer models. And if we do need to issue an alert day for that, you'll be the first one to know about it on our free WTOL 11 weather app. We send out push alerts and notifications to that app, and all of the winter weather alerts, like the winter weather advisories we have in place, you can also find out about those through our weather app as well. So we'll issue that alert day if need be. Right now, there's still a good amount of uncertainty, but really we want to focus in on Thursday with that snow that is going to be moving in late Wednesday into Thursday and a possible high impact type storm system. For those just tuning in, good to have you with us streaming on WTOL 11 Plus, on YouTube, on social media, whatever your favorite platform is. We're breaking down the latest on the travel conditions for the rest of this evening, as well as some upcoming alert days Wednesday night into Thursday. I'm going to get back to the travel forecast for this evening and what you can expect if you do have Saturday night plans, or perhaps you're home for the night and you're thinking of heading out tomorrow morning to run those errands or go to church. Slushy road conditions likely this evening. Even though there has been some improvement on the major roadways, I would strongly recommend staying home if possible and definitely allowing plenty of extra time. There will still be some lingering slick spots into early Sunday morning, but by kickoff for that Super Bowl tomorrow evening at 6:30, we're going to be seeing some much improved roadways. All right, here's a look at Doppler radar. We are still seeing a little bit of light snow shower activity, but overall most of the precipitation has worked on out, and that's now moving off towards Lake Erie and moving off into eastern Ohio. So the good news is, now that there's not really as much falling from the sky, that is going to allow crews to continue to salt, continue to plow, and hopefully see some improvements in roadways. Zooming in on the metro, I mean, there could be a light flurry or two, but I'm not really seeing much on Doppler radar, and those roadways do seem to be exhibiting some signs of improvement. I showed you earlier I-75 at the Anthony Wayne Trail. You'll notice the road itself looks to be clear. On some of those medians and some of the side of the road, there could still be a little bit of snow and ice, but those main roadways looking mostly smooth at this point. There still could be a little bit of refreezing. This is a really good shot, actually. This is 475 at Douglas. It still looks a little bit shiny, and that's always an urge to use caution in case there is some refreezing tonight. But really, most of the snow and the sleet that I'm seeing is off to the side of the roads, so the interstates, at least I-475, does look to be much improved. Temperatures, though, are down to 26 in Toledo, 27 in Wood County, and because of that drop in temperatures, there could be some refreezing tonight, especially in parking lots, sidewalks, driveways, and those roads that are less traveled. So due to that refreezing threat, please use caution and give yourself plenty of extra time. Snow is going to be wrapping up this evening. We still do have winter weather advisories that are going to be continuing through 1 o'clock a.m., so there could still be some slippery road conditions continuing tonight, although with the snow and ice ending, things are only going to be improving, although that refreezing potential, that could especially impact those side roads as well as bridges and overpasses. Be sure to allow crews extra time, though, and extra space on those roadways if you do see some snow plows that are out. So that Super Bowl Sunday forecast, 32 degrees and partly sunny. Going to be nice to see a few glimpses of sunshine, and the sun that we do see, I think, is going to help melt away whatever snow and sleet is still on the roads, and we'll see some improvements with that sunshine. I showed you earlier the Super Bowl forecast down in New Orleans. Anyone else a little bit jealous of this forecast? I know there is a dome on the stadium, but 70 degrees out at Caesars Superdome, so things are going to be much warmer down there. And in case you missed it earlier, we're already previewing another impactful storm system. Mother Nature is really keeping the weather department busy these last couple weeks, and I think the active storm track is going to be continuing as we head towards the middle of the month of February. I have highlighted this one as a level 4 impact, and that is because we're expecting a swath of pretty decent accumulating snowfall and the potential for a wintry mix to the south of Toledo. It looks to be mostly a snowmaker for the metro, although there could still be a little bit of a slushy and sloppy mix far to the south of the river, and there's a good chance that you may need the shovel, if not the snow blower, with this system. We're not going to be talking snowfall accumulations yet because there's still so much uncertainty regarding the storm track, but I do think that this is going to be an accumulation that could rival, if not exceed, our biggest snowstorm of the winter so far. Now, the good news is we do have a couple dry days to enjoy some quiet weather before this storm arrives. Super Bowl Sunday is going to be dry. Monday is going to be dry. Tuesday and even into the most of the day Wednesday. So the alert day starts late Wednesday evening. We're talking around 10 p.m., 11 p.m., midnight. That is when the snow is going to be working on through. Now, this is going to take an Ohio Valley or central Ohio track right along this warm front, and that is about an ideal storm track for seeing heavy snow in the Toledo metro. Now, that pink color does show you a little bit of wintry mix. I think the best chances to see a bit of that wintry mix, that is going to be south of the Maumee River. We'll keep a very close eye on the potential for that and how we could see changes in the storm track that dictate what type of precipitation we see. Overall, though, going to be an active week of weather ahead. We have that alert day late Wednesday into Thursday, and we're already keeping an eye on next Saturday. There's a 60% chance of a wintry mix. Now, there's still so much uncertainty with this one. We could potentially see some rain, could see some ice, could even see snow. And once we start to get a little more confident with that forecast, we'll consider issuing an alert day for that one if it does look like we're going to see some high impact weather. Well, for those who tuned into our live stream, good to have you on WTOL 11 Plus, on YouTube, on Facebook and X. text, whatever social media site you're tuning in from. I'm going to leave you with the 10-day forecast, and be sure to turn on WTOL 11 News tonight at 11. I'm going to have the latest data and the latest look at our next alert date. Stay safe, stay inside if you're able to, and please use caution on those roadways. Hope you have a great Super Bowl Sunday and a safe rest of your weekend. Take care.